I am joined in studio by a member of Israeli Parliament, Yossi Yona of the Zionist Union Party. Good morning to you, and thank you for being with us. He was involved in the protests 5 years ago, and also a professor of education, important to mention. Also with us, Yaron Hoffman-Dishon, a researcher at the Advance Center for Research and Social Justice. Good morning to you. And we can't do this without also the director of Advance Popular Education Program, and Niv Ellis, business reporter for the Jerusalem Post. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yossi Yona, I want to start with you. Back 5 years ago, one of the you were just talking about op-ed articles. I'm gonna chime my own horn, so to speak. I published an op-ed article 5 years ago when the protest was going on, saying that this cannot be a political protest if protesters do not take a political stand and ask for a major change of government, and that people should not compare it to Tahrir or whatnot. Walking in those streets 5 years ago, it was fascinating to see the passion, but also the fact that there were so many diverging notions in the streets. People will say that that uprising failed because it didn't have a clear line. Would you agree?
Well, I don't know. I would like to begin with a cliche.
Please.
That, we don't have yet the historical perspective to pass judgment and to assess whether the social protest actually failed or succeeded. Though in the long run, I think events in such a big scope, they would have they must have repercussions, reverberations that probably yet to be seen. Now, having said that, we go back, to the question, like whether it has or it had specific goals and whether it was able to accomplish them.
Those goals.
The goals, yeah, the goals of the protest. I agree with you that there were some kind of, big gamut of claims and demands, and it was very difficult to put them all together, and so that would coalesce into one specific demand. Yes, it was actually a problem. Now, it is political. The moment that you go, you take to the street, it is political by definition. So I think that people were talking.
Even though the leaders of that so-called social revolution, it's interesting, we're doing this on a day following 2 days of turmoil in Turkey, people taking to the streets, or the army taking to the streets, but people that were organizing it were very specific about apoliticizing it. They kept saying, we are not political.
I know, but there is a lack of understanding and this kind of verbiage, this kind of talk. You take to the street, it is political. What they meant to say that it is not party politics. But the moment you go to the street, it is political. So it was political. And they were trying so that if you wish to have some kind of crossing struggle that would encompass people belong to different parties. In that sense, they are saying that it is political, but it was essentially a political protest, of course. Now, let us go back, to demand. And of course, there were various demands, conflicting even demands.
Conflicting demands.
Yeah, schematically, I would divide it into two big groups. Those that would want to bring back the progressive social state, and those that would want to rectify neoliberal capitalist pact that they seemingly have with the state. And I want to specify what I mean by that. Many of those who took to the street were saying, well, look, we have done our share, we fulfilled our part in the deal. They told us, go to school, go to university, acquire a job, go into the job market, and then your future would be secured. We have done our share, but the government did not do its share. So we want to rectify the individualistic neoliberal pact, and this is what we demand. Some other people, I belong to them, saying, no, well, look, guys, there would not be a solution to the plight and difficulties inflicting middle classes in Israel, as well as the poor strata of Israeli society, if we would not rekindle welfare state or the spirit or the ethos.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And if you let me add one important point here, in this regard, Israel is lagging badly after OECD countries in terms of the scope or the amount of public expenditures to social services. And this is demand problem as I see it. It is not the only problem, but if you wish to encompass all the problems, the housing crisis, the bad conditions of workers, exactly, health, education, so forth and so on, it comes down to that. And I want to sadly say, concluding this at least round of talk, that the current government tenaciously holding on to the same neoliberal philosophy, economic policies, holding on to the idea that we've got to have a small government, and this is, I think, what is responsible for existing of a continuous problem of the skyrocketing standard of living.
The ancient old, discussion which one can hear also in the United States. But you know what? But when it comes to what